Time we look at our first French series on the show as we review Watch My Chops. A show that followed an intelligent talking dog called Corneille and his dog sitter called Bernie. The show was called Corneille and Bernie in other countries, but in the UK it was known by Watch My Chops after Corneille's catchphrase. The show lasted for 2 seasons, first between 2003 and 2006, then between 2014 and 2016. There are 104 episodes total. So let's take a look at a couple of episodes. First up we have Panic on Board. So we are at the beach as 2 people are having a cozy time. The woman looks at a picture of Corneille as we see him at home playing chess alone as Bernie doesn't want to play. All of a sudden the phone goes as Bernie answers it. The owners call to find out how Corneille is doing as Bernie says everything is fine. They then announce something that Bernie likes and reacts very loud to. He heads off as Corneille is taken with him. They arrive at the airport as Bernie announces they are going to stay with Corneille's owners at the beach. Corneille says he cannot because he hates flying. Bernie doesn't listen as Corneille tries to stop him, but Bernie puts him on the lead and drags him through the airport. The assistant gives them a tablet for Corneille to take as he says no. He then gets caught talking by a kid as Bernie explains what will happen if he doesn't get on the plane. Corneille agrees as he crosses his fingers behind his back as they then board the plane. Corneille is hiding in the bathroom as he tries to make a fake phone call to the health department. The flight gets cancelled as Bernie is annoyed with Corneille. So Corneille thinks they are heading home as all of a sudden they get on another plane. So on board Corneille is scared as the flight assistant asks if everything is okay. Bernie announces he has a pilot license, which is clearly foreshadowing. They get ready to fly as Bernie tells him to stop worrying. Corneille is overthinking as they head to the skies. So Bernie is playing a game as Corneille isn't eating. Bernie tries to keep him calm as they head into the cockpit as the pilots try to explain how everything works. All of a sudden Bernie doesn't feel well, so he tries to take some medicine, but he accidentally puts it in the pilot's drinks. Corneille tries to save them, but it is too late as they pass out. Bernie tries to wake them up as the flight assistant demands Bernie get into the hot seat and fly. Bernie and Corneille argue as Bernie gives up. Corneille reads a book as he takes over and flies the plane. Bernie is still dizzy, so he presses all the buttons. They start to land as they nearly crash, but they manage to land in a golf course as everyone comes out and celebrates their landing. The owners come and thank Bernie. The pilot says Bernie can fly on the way back as the episode ends. Next up we have Radio Bernie. So at school Bernie is running through the halls to talk to his friends as everyone hates him. All of a sudden some lightning strikes as at home Corneille is relaxing to some music as Bernie comes in and moans about being invisible. Corneille doesn't listen as Bernie tries to turn it off as Corneille says it is a big hit with everyone. So Bernie comes up with an idea to start his own radio show. Corneille says no way is he being his assistant as they start broadcasting. Bernie tells a joke as Corneille doesn't like it. Bernie hopes people call into his show, but no one calls in as he gets annoyed. They wait forever as Bernie then cries and gives up. Corneille says he listens as Bernie says he doesn't count as Corneille then thinks of something. So at home Corneille calls into Bernie's show with a fake voice saying it is the best show ever. Bernie is happy as Corneille heads to bed. But Bernie wakes him up as the owners come and wonder what he is doing at this hour. Bernie tells everyone he is going to be famous as the radio show is a big hit. In some garage Bernie has all the radio gear as Corneille can't believe he has done all of this. Bernie says it is going to be a success as Corneille tells him to stop. At night Corneille is feeling the guilt as Martha is listening to the show. She doesn't seem interested with it as all of a sudden she changes her mind and calls into the show, as we then find out Corneille is hosting. Martha says adults are controlling as more and more people call in and join the discussion. The show grows and grows as Corneille is happy with the progress as the next day at school Bernie is just drinking as everyone comes up to him and say it was a great show. Corneille explains everything as Bernie says he is mega famous as Corneille says he won't spoil it. So Corneille makes Bernie get detention as he takes over the decks. Cornel does everything in his power to stop Bernie from coming home as he is enjoying hosting the radio show. So the next day Bernie tries to get into the garage as his keys are missing. Cornel sneaks in as he does the radio again as Bernie then gets in through the window. Bernie is wondering what Cornel is doing here as he then pretends to have a heart attack. He tells Bernie to get some medicine as Bernie rushes off. Cornel gets up and does the show, but then Bernie hears him on the radio. He can't believe his ears as Bernie comes back really angry as he storms in and calls him a traitor. Cornel explains everything he did as Bernie can't believe the phone call was fake. Bernie says to forget everything as he tries to take over, but he forgets he has left the microphone on and calls the listener stupid, so they all call in to tell Bernie off as the episode ends. Finally we have love at first sight. So at school we see this pretty girl as Bernie is trying to get her attention. He tries to give her a letter as the teacher comes and takes the letter. He gets kicked out of class as Bernie's uncle is called into school. Bernie is worried as Cornel is shocked as Bernie announces his owner will have to find a new dog sitter. He starts guilt-tripping Cornel as Cornel comes up with a plan to change the teacher's mind. He explains the plan as he says Karen is on the phone. Bernie answers it as Cornel confesses he was lying. He says he knows what makes him tick. So the teacher leaves her office. Bernie climbs up a tree and tries to get into the office as Cornel is shocked and annoyed. Bernie fails as the teacher leaves. They chase after her as they arrive in the supermarket. They continue to follow the teacher as Bernie shouts about carrots. Cornel tells him to calm down as Cornel runs away with the trolley, causing Bernie to get an earful. The teacher is being followed by Cornel as he buys all the same things. Bernie is angry with Cornel as he tells him this is all the stuff the teacher likes. But Bernie says it the wrong cart as he starts digging through the teacher's real cart. He picks up a bar as everyone is confused. The teacher leaves as Bernie tells his uncle to go in some roller skating gear. Bernie tells him everything the teacher likes as at school they have a meeting as Bernie has to wait outside. He starts to panic as all of a sudden his uncle comes out as the teacher is happy. The uncle explains Bernie is staying in school. The teacher comes back to give him his helmet. They fall in love as Bernie is shocked. Bernie cannot believe it as he looks at an old photograph. He gets up and has breakfast as he then notices his teacher in his house. Only for this to be revealed as a nightmare. Bernie gets up for real as he spots his uncle, but can't talk to him, so rushes off. Bernie is on a bench crying as he explains everything that Cornel has done. At the apartment the uncle is watering the plants as the teacher comes up and trips over. Cornel tells Bernie to calm down as he is overthinking as we then see the uncle and the teacher holding each other as Bernie rushes away. Cornel follows the teacher and the uncle as Bernie gives up on a busy bridge. It starts to pour down as he changes his mind and rushes back. We then find out the teacher has been tutoring the uncle as Cornel watches on. Bernie barges in as he starts shouting. The teacher and the uncle explain what is going on as Cornel throws the backpack out to show that Bernie is ready to study. So the next day we see them all in class as Bernie tries to copy off his uncle. The teacher catches him as Bernie tries to talk to Cornel. The episode ends. Overall, Watch My Chops was a very good show as it played on the idea of a talking dog. It wasn't the first to do that idea, but it did work well, and the differences between Bernie's silliness and Cornel being the smart one was a good idea. So yes, it was worth a watch. So thank you for watching. If you have any TV shows you like to see me do, put them in the comments.